Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Did you know that the public speaking industry is a $100 billion a year industry in the world? Did you know that in America alone, there are 64,000 events a day in America that pay public speakers? And did you know that the average public speaker makes $177,000 a year in public speaking? It's amazing, isn't it? If you think about it, how can it change your business? What can it do for your business just to go out there, share your message, get more clients, and get paid for doing that? Oh, pretty good. Actually, public speaking is 100% return on your investment. I love that part. See, I never met a dollar I didn't like. That's the only reason. I've been doing public speaking for over 20 years. All over the world. I've been to 26 countries, 19 states so far, I think, yeah, because I spoke last in Louisiana. That was a pretty interesting experience. Have you ever been to New Orleans?
Yes.
It's a weird experience. I tried gumbo for the first time. It was hysterical. But here's the thing. In public speaking, people are afraid. There's a few myths out there. About 8 years ago, I went to Arlington, Texas, and I was speaking on a very big stage. There was thousands of people there, and they had a break room for speakers. And as I'm standing there minding my own business, and I don't know if you were here to listen to my personal story yesterday, I was just standing there, and there's 3 guys were just staring at me. It was kind of creepy. And all 3 of them kind of walked over, and one of them says, "Aren't you Orly Amor?" And I'm like, "Oops, do I know you? I don't remember." And he says, "No, we've never met before, but I've seen you on the circuit." And I'm like, "Oh, phew, okay. So who are you? What do you do?" And we just started talking. At one point or another, one of them says to me, "So how did you get this gig?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I called. I told them what I speak about. They paid me, and I'm here." They all looked at me like if I had 3 heads. "You got paid?" And I'm like, "Oops, you didn't?" And they're like, "No, we got our expenses paid, but we didn't get paid." I said, "Oh no, I got paid and I got my expenses paid." And they're like, "Well, we want to know how you did that." Now, at the time, I wasn't coaching, so I didn't know what to say. And just as a joker, I said, "Well, you know, if I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have to charge you." And they said, "Well, just name your price." And I'm like, "What? Okay, interesting. Do you have a speaker sheet?" They're like, "Oh, what is that?" And I said, "Well, you know, it's like a flyer that shows what you speak about with your picture on it." They said, "Oh, you mean a media sheet?" I said, "Well, that's not really the same thing, but you know what? Show me what you've got. It's okay." And he shows me this amazing thing, and I kid you not, it's absolutely professional. It's beautiful. It is shiny paper, the whole shebang, bells and whistles. And I tell him it's garbage. And I didn't mean to be mean or condescending. All I said was, nobody's looking at this thing. It goes straight to the garbage can if you're sending it out. And I said, if you're sending it digitally, they hit delete before they even look at your paper or at your email or at your name. He's like, "What? I paid $600 for this thing." And I'm like, "Look, I don't care if you paid $1,000. I really don't care if you paid $2,500. I know people who pay a lot more money to get that thing done. But it goes straight to the garbage." And I said, "By the way, how many gigs have you gotten from this thing?" And he's like, "I've never gotten paid yet." I'm like, "You just proved my point. It means nothing." And there's a few myths about this industry. If you think about that you don't like to speak in public, well, guess what? You speak to your friends all the time about what you do. You ask them to introduce you to people. You ask for referrals. That's speaking in public, by the way. It's just that you're doing it one-on-one. So think about being on stage and doing it one to many. You'll save yourself a lot of time. And seriously, your voice. Right? I'm losing mine. Well, guess what? All right. So how about we go through a question that I would like you to ask yourselves that question. The first one is, on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, you guys told me this works, right? Okay. Oh, no. No, no. There you go. All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your willingness to learn? And I bet you anything, on a scale of 1 to 10, most of you did 8, 9, or 10. Am I right? Raise your hand if you're anywhere at 8, 9, or 10 as willingness to learn. Fantastic. And I hope all of you are there. That's important. On a scale of 1 to 10, though, what is your willingness to accept change? That means you need to give up something. You understand? In everything, there's a sacrifice, no matter what. What is your willingness to stop watching TV, let's say, to get your business of public speaking to $150,000 to $200,000 a year? What is your willingness to do that, to do the work? And if you are a player, if you're an agent, if you own a business, it doesn't really matter. You're sacrificing something to get things done. Am I right? Yes? Awesome. So I'm a business coach for public speakers and entrepreneurs because I believe that this is the best way to get business. Whether it's clients, whether it's just a message across, or whether it's to change people's lives. Everybody has a reason for public speaking. What they don't know is that they can monetize it. How awesome is that part, right? I told you, I never met a dollar I didn't like. Not kidding. I help, so I'm a certified behavior analyst. What does that mean? I can profile somebody within 3 seconds and get them to actually buy from me. And not in the sense of doing it maliciously, it's actually just knowing how to speak to somebody in their language, not yours. People think that, oh, if I'm telling you something and you need it, then that means you need to buy it. Not necessarily. You need to know where the person is at in their mindset in order to absolutely sell or convince them that they need something. So I go around the world and I go into corporations and show their salespeople how to close the deal 98% of the time. That's one of my topics. The other topic that I speak about is networking. Your network is your net worth. If you're not making enough money, you don't know enough people, or you haven't built enough relationships. Does that make sense? It's all about that. We're still human beings. We're not machines. We still need the one-to-one. We need the one-to-many. We need to connect with people. Yes? And the third thing I speak about is mindset mastery, which you saw me yesterday speak about. If you didn't, you missed it. You can see the recording, or you can follow me on Facebook and see Facebook Live. All right. You don't know what you don't know. It's true, because this industry has so many moving parts that people think they know about it, or they know how to do the business side. So they're like, oh, I know that already. Or here's something else. I'm sure that you've given advice. Has anybody here given advice to someone once and they never took your advice to do it? Oh, come on. You all did that. And you got upset because they didn't follow your advice, because they didn't do it. You know it works. And they said, oh, yeah, you know, I've done that. It didn't work. You know what? They didn't do it in all the different facets of it. They just did it once and assumed that that's it. That was the only way to do it, and it didn't work, so moving on. But there's so many ways to try something, right? Thomas Emerson, what did you do? Edison, sorry, right? Not Emerson, Edison. Edison tried what? 1,000 times to make the light bulb work? Well, guess what? It takes even more than that in public speaking to get booked as a speaker. It takes time and effort, but it doesn't take extraneous effort. It just takes consistency. And consistency is key in many things, such as playing the game, right? Being a soccer player, being an entrepreneur, you got to do things consistently if you're going to be successful no matter what. Perception is even worse. Some people think, well, who's going to listen to me? Does this guy look like he's looking at you or looking away? It's creepy, right? I actually love this because it shows you that your brain is playing tricks on you even in your business. It does. You might think that who's going to listen to me? Nobody wants to hear my story, right? Who's going to want to hire me? Oh, pay me for my story? Really? And what about, oh, you know what? I've never really spoken in public, therefore I might suck at it and I'm afraid of that part. Well, guess what? I have a tagline that says, if you just have a message, somebody's willing to pay for it. Isn't that cool? No matter what it is. And the way that I explain that is, imagine yourself wanting to speak at a toilet paper convention. A toilet paper convention has so many facets to it. It has the paper, the mills that created it, and all that good stuff. And you're probably thinking, well, what am I going to speak about at a toilet paper convention? Well, guess what? That's what's missing in the industry. Variety, diversity. Your story might be needed just to break that mold and to not make it boring. Toilet paper convention. Make sense? You might bring something to that that will make the convention interesting. And that's what event planners are looking for. They're looking for that diversity. Make sense? Yes? So right now, what I want you to think, if you ever thought about public speaking or you heard stories about public speaking, I want you to just unlearn that, because this industry has changed just in the past 10 years about 1,000 times. Different things. People who are still doing the same thing from 10 years ago are actually dwindling down. They're not getting hired because they're frowning on things that make them money, such as paying someone to be on their stage. Many speakers, that's called pay to play, by the way, but maybe many speakers, what they do is say, oh, I don't pay to play, I get paid to speak. Well, let me tell you a very small story about what happened to me the first time I heard about pay to play. I was living here in Florida, actually, and somebody came into my office, and she said this. She's like, listen, I'm doing an event. There's going to be about 100 people there. I'm going to get only 4 speakers to be there. Each one of you is going to pay me $2,500 to be on my stage, and you can sell whatever you want, programs, books, whatever it is that you want. You can just sell that, and that's fine. I'm like, great, here you go. Check for $2,500. By the way, that was my mortgage for the month. Holy moly. And so after that, I was so excited that I'm going to be one of the 4 speakers that I went to my friends who are speakers and said, guess what I just did? I just paid this girl $2,500. I'm going to be on her stage. She's only taking 4 speakers. I'm one of them. And she's going to have 100 people there, and I can sell whatever I want. This is great. They all said different times this. Are you crazy? She just made $10,000. She just is going to spend maybe $1,000 on this thing. How do you know she's going to have 100 people there? Maybe she's going to have 20. Maybe she's going to have 50. How are you going to sell anything? What if you don't sell anything? I go home, buyer's remorse. Oh my God, I just gave this lady my mortgage money. And I was freaking out. But then I said, wait a minute. I make triple of what these people are making, and I'm listening to them? Calm down, Orly. You know what to do. 3 months later, I'm at this event. I give my best talk ever, and I'm following up on my business of public speaking system. Well, guess what? A year from that event, just from that event, tracking that particular event, I made $92,000 in 1 year from one event. So for those of you who are frowning on paying somebody to be on their stage, think again. All you gotta know is how to do it and be consistent about it. Track it, because there is money to be made in this industry. What did I say first? $100 billion a year industry. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing. So here's what they want to know. In everything that you're building in your business of public speaking or other, who are you? What do you know? What problem are you solving? How are you solving it? And why should I care? Why should the event planner care? Or why should their audience care? They need to know what you are solving to help them, not help yourself. Make sense? Yes? And a lot of you probably are thinking, maybe they won't like me. And many of us have struggled to get to where we are. So the people who criticize us really don't know the price we paid to be here. And that is really sad. But instead of thinking it that way, think of what you're bringing to the table. Think about what you're bringing from yourself, from your heart, and what problem you can help people with. There's a lot of people who are willing to listen to you if you only think about that. Here's what I say to people. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. That is my quote. And the reason being is that why we need coaches. I have 4 of them. If you don't have a coach, and by the way, don't hire a coach that doesn't have a coach. Because if they don't know the value of bringing you through. You don't have to have bad things happen to you. You don't have to have a book in this business. You don't have to have even a website in this business. Can you believe it? I have many people come up to me and say, listen, I'm gonna come back to you because I don't have a website yet. And I'm thinking, why do you need a website? Nobody knows your name yet. Nobody knows who you are. Why do you need a website for? You know what you need? You need LinkedIn. You need LinkedIn to be perfect before you go and get a website, because that's where they go first. How about a book? How many think that you need a book to get booked as a speaker? Many people think that. but it's not necessary. Yes, it helps, but it's not a necessity in order to get booked. Because people, again, what? Don't know who you are. It doesn't matter. Get your book out whenever you want to, and then go ahead, and you can make money with it, but it's not really the money maker. A book, remember this, is just a glorified business card, and a website is a glorified resume. That's it. Everything else you got to do on your own. It's a business, you got to treat it as such. You got to think like a business, that this is a professional business. It's not just a one-time thing or a sporadic thing, or I'll do it as a hobby. Think about it as opening a store. What do you need if you open a store? A good location, right? We need a key to the front door. We're going to need a camera system, a security system, maybe a cash register, right? Maybe a bank account, insurance for the place. Did I tell you what we're selling in that store? No. That's the business of public speaking. You got to have the infrastructure, or else you're not going to make money in it. You need to have forms. You need to know your assets, your liabilities. What are you bringing to the table? What are you missing? What do you need education on? And it's okay, because it exists and it's all out there. Make lists. Why do you want to get paid to speak? What it will give you, and not just money, what it will give you in your life, because you're changing people's lives wherever you are. In the act of sharing, there's contribution. You just don't know whose life you're going to help, and you need to be doing it consistently, or else people will forget about you. Life has no remote control. You got to do the work. People are not willing to do the work, and here's the problem in the industry all by itself. There's two kinds of speakers. One, they don't know how to do the business. That we cannot blame them for. So if they're not making the money, you can't blame them. They don't know how to do the business. The other kind, they're lazy. Sorry, I have no filter. I just say it like it is. And people are lazy. They don't want to do the work, but they want to make the money. It's like Tony Robbins said, I want to make $1 million, but I want to wake up at 12. It does not work. Make sense? All right. There are multiple streams of income in public speaking, and there's tools. You got to just get the tools. You can get paid. Platforms. There's many platforms that you can speak on, and each one of them has a different way to get there. So you got to know what it takes. Some of them takes longer, and some of them are quick. You can get hired in the next 7 days, in the next month, if you have the infrastructure. If you don't have it, guess what? You're going to be just shooting at the dark, right? Clients, you can get them anywhere. Meetups, Kiwanis, practice your speech, practice your craft, but don't practice on a paid audience. Practice where people really just will give you some feedback. But there's a way to make money there too. I can show you how. There's other clients that you can have Vistage, Score, those, and you can make your own events. You can make money from your own events, right? You can. Maybe not a lot, but you can get from that if you consistently follow up, follow through, have a tracking system. You can get booked, or you can go to them. So they come to you, or you can go to them. That's the only two ways you make money in this business. And if you're not willing to go to them, then nobody's going to knock on your door. I can guarantee you that. You're not Tony Robbins or Les Brown yet. What you need to do is go out there and get yourself noticed. If you go the extra mile for event planners, they will really help you as well. Here's what happens in this industry. There are many. I'm coming out with a book at the end of quarter number 1 in 2019 that has to do with this industry. I've interviewed over 3,200 event planners in the past 4 years for this book, and they all have the same thing to say about speakers. One of the things is called the diva syndrome. I go, I show up, I speak, I get my check, and I leave. There's another way to get multiple repeat business with every event planner if you just know how to treat them before, during, and after speaking. And you got to know that part. You need to have the infrastructure. I said that. And if you don't start today, you will be probably regretting it next year, because this industry is evolving every single day. And if you want more information, you want to sit with me or my team, we're in booth 128, and you can come all day. We'll be here all day. And you can come and sit with us to see where you're at, where you want to go in this business, if it's a good fit for you, and how you can monetize it for your business, for the game of life. Remember, if you have a message, somebody is willing to pay for it. Thank you so much. Have a great day.